here is Dr. Phil's exclusive interview with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. God, I fucking hate him. I hate both of them so much.
Our interview with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu from Israel at perhaps the most critical time in the conflict. What is the war between Israel and Hamas doing to the United States? Tonight, I stand in the city of Jerusalem, the holiest place in the world, sacred to Judaism, Christianity, and much later in history to Islam. This is all
much later in history to Islam. Yeah, dude. Latecomers to the game, Islam.
Also center stage for a war started when the terrorist organization Hamas perpetrated a brutal massacre against primarily Israeli citizens. This murderous attack saw the most Jews slaughtered in a single day since the Holocaust. Approximately 1,200 killed, including many women, children, and elderly, all unarmed, as well as over 4,000 wounded. Approximately 250 civilians.
When did Dr. Phil become a right-winger? What do you mean? He always was a fucking television crank, dude. He said all unarmed. All the 400 soldiers were also unarmed inside of military bases, and also were actually civilian soldiers. As you all know, these are soldiers that are children and the elderly. Famously enough, you guys might not know this, but Israel has special status for the soldiers that makes them actually civilian. That's right. That's what Hamas did. That's what Hamas did. Kill a bunch of civilian soldiers who also happen to be saving orphanages in their free time. And also, some of them were baby soldiers, as a matter of fact, and their heads were cut off. Hamas cut off the heads of baby soldiers and put them in ovens.
Were kidnapped and, as evidenced by video, beaten, brutalized, and thrown into inhospitable imprisonment, to say the least. It's believed that there are still 132 hostages currently in Hamas captivity, although it is unknown how many are actually alive. This war is between Israel.
Who killed them, Dr. Phil?
The Jewish homeland, and Hamas, a terrorist group that has taken over the territory known as the Gaza Strip.
Wait, what? Bro made it seem like that's also, the Gaza Strip is also Israel's land, but Hamas, the terrorist group, has taken over. Oh my God. Every part of this is just incorrect. I don't know. I don't know where to begin to address this, okay? The Gaza Strip is Palestinian territory. Israel occupies it. That part is technically, I guess, correct. Israel controls all the points of entry into the Gaza Strip and therefore, of course, occupies it. Hamas didn't take over. Hamas, the terrorist group, took over the Gaza Strip. Is ridiculous. It didn't. That's not what happened. But
which Israel gave up in a goodwill effort for peace in 2005. Occupied by Palestinians, many of whom willingly harbor the terrorists or are at least sympathizers.
Oh my God, bro! Yo! Jesus, Lord mercy, bro. That's it. He's the red heifer. That's the cow, bro. That's the cow that they're going to sacrifice. God damn. That boy is mooing. Holy shit. That's right. Many Hamas sympathizers are harboring these terrorists and therefore also deserve to be ethnically cleansed, which is cleansing. Don't you guys like a clean hand? You know? That's what is basically happening. A clean Gaza Strip. Rid of the scourge of Hamas and its sympathizers in the form of babies. Babies that love Hamas. Babies that are armed with copies of Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf. My struggle in the American language. Now, it's not you don't understand. It's kind of advanced Hasbro, but many Zionists believe that Jerusalem only became holy in Islam in the early 20th century in response to the Zionists. Like, they think it wasn't a big thing for Muslims until al-Husseini saw how dedicated the Jews were and made it important again. That's wild. It's their anti-Semitism that decided that Jerusalem is important.
Others are clearly trapped in a bad situation. This unprovoked...
Bro, this is Dr. Phil's, like, Mexicans are rapists, but some, I'm sure, are very fine people moment. Others are trapped. Who's to say how many of the Palestinians are trapped in Gaza? Well, technically all of them, okay? But also, who's to say how many of them harbor sympathies for Hamas, which means they deserve to die?
October 7th genocide and Israel's predictable response.
Unprovoked October 7 genocide. Not unprovoked. Israel was an apartheid regime on October 6th. Certainly not unprovoked at all. And also, you cannot say that October 7 is a genocide, especially if you consider October 7 to be a genocide. Then you have to find a new, much higher designation for what Israel has done since October 7. Oh my God, that is crazy.
Response is also dividing the world, as evidenced by the out-of-control protests seen on too many college campuses.
Yeah, the real problem here is not that like Israel is doing baby murder at a rapid clip. The real problem is that it's like people are protesting in America, and those protests must be violently squashed. Okay, out of control protests. I hate it.
Across America. I was present on the use.
That footage that they showed, by the way, is quite literally a Jewish culture, Jewish history professor. They're showing
too many college campuses.
Jewish culture professor being violently apprehended by the fucking pigs.
I was present.
Absolute demon, dude. Dr. Phil is a fucking demon.
On the UCLA campus recently, speaking with Jewish students and Israeli Jewish students.
Oh my God, of course he had that fucking freak.
Students throughout the day and for the takedown of the pro-Palestinian encampment late into the night. Masquerading as exercising their right to free speech, these UCLA protesters, along with others on campuses across the nation, have resorted to threats, intimidation, and physical.
Yeah, this is the fucking propagandist. That's awesome that he had him on in the. Can you play that video of Phil getting clowned on by the bum fights guy?
Assault to suppress pro-Israeli counterparts.
Professor Orlick was banned from campus after that. By the way, not by the campus itself, but by the police. The police department banned Professor Orlick from campus, and the school literally said, you can't do that. And I'm pretty sure the school is currently fighting against the police force, even though they sick the police force on the students and the fucking faculty themselves. Just remember that. It was actually the fucking cops that banned the professor from campus. I hope one day we'll have true justice, and therefore this fucking bald Himmler ass, Goebbels ass monster also goes to fucking prison after being tried in an international tribunal, an international criminal court. We'll find him guilty of doing propaganda for ethnic cleansing, and we'll lock his bitch ass up.
Going even deeper into the roots of this story dominating the world stage, tonight I sit down for a no-holds-barred, in-depth interview with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, unedited and commercial-free from Jerusalem. An interview taking place at perhaps the most critical time in this conflict. A conflict with implications the world over. Prime Minister, thank you for doing this.
My pleasure.
Can we talk about other conflicts like the recent uncovering of bodies in Darfur, Sudan, and Myanmar? No, because I want to hide the truth from the world. And I only care about Israel doing a genocide because it's the Jewish state. And I'm anti-Semitic. I hope that clears up any confusion that you already didn't have, and only ask that question specifically to because you have that opinion already. It's so funny. The only reason why you say that is because you're like, please stop talking about the ongoing genocide. Okay, please. Please. I would wish you wouldn't talk about that, please. But this is like at least a more, it's a definitely more seemingly polite way of making this request. You know what I mean? Captain Saber, more like Captain Hasbro, 283. The IDF division doing the Hasbro specifically. Free Palestine. There are other genocides as well. Okay. Well, then you shouldn't be fucking upset about my coverage. Had your stream when the phone was down when I went to the gas station. Someone asked me, are you listening to HasanAbi? And I was skeptical, but I said yes. And dude said, hell yeah, dude, I love that guy. Didn't expect other HasanAbi fans in rural Georgia. They're all around.
Welcome to Israel.
Well, I'm so proud to be here, and I've been spending a lot of time talking about Israel. So to be here and to have the honor of sitting with you is amazing. How do you think the Israeli people are holding up 7 months into this conflict?
They're holding up incredibly well. They're very strong. They're united. They understand that we face a genocidal enemy that we have to defeat in order.
I like that they've also realized that like everyone is calling what Israel's doing a genocide. So now they're saying like, no. You know who's actually doing a genocide? Hamas. Hamas is the genocidal enemy. Actually, really. I mean, it's not like listen, it's not like Zionists haven't been saying that. They have been. But I have noticed that they've been saying it a lot more recently in a way to, I guess, dilute the conversation. What does that yellow ribbon mean? Oh, that's a really fun question and a very fun answer for it. So that yellow ribbon is for bring our hostages home, which is ironic because he is single-handedly more responsible than anyone else for killing a shit ton of those hostages. So really funny that he's wearing the yellow ribbon pin while having this conversation with Dr. Phil, while simultaneously single-handedly being responsible for killing all of the hostages at this point. And not only that, but also refusing to peek outside of his window, outside of his fucking mansion, to hear the tens of thousands of Israeli protesters that are screaming for him to do a fucking ceasefire so that they can bring the hostages home. So, you know, not to use the Zionist rhetoric against them, but Hamas is doing a pretty bad fucking job then, huh? Yeah, dude, you don't understand. It's just like it would happen in a hypothetical future if we allowed it to happen, you know? State Department report finds new ways to say Israel violated international law. Yeah. The Biden administration says it's reasonable to assess Israel used U.S. weapons in ways inconsistent with international law. Hold on. Let's get
to.
I got to pee real quick as well.
It's not only Hamas monsters that we face.
Are the Palestinian people at large complicit in this? How do you tell the difference between Hamas and Palestinians in the Gaza Strip? Because Hamas doesn't wear a uniform. They hide among the civilians. They hide in schools. They hide in churches. They wear civilian clothes, which is a violation of the Geneva Convention. Are Palestinians complicit in this, or are they just hiding among them? I know they're doing that, but are Palestinians some complicit in this?
You have actually.
I don't think I can watch this. I don't think I can stomach this. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like if any of this was true, he wouldn't be talking about it so gleefully. Yeah, no. I mean, this is like active genocide denial, propagandizing what Israel's ethnic cleansing campaign is to an audience of fucking middle-aged wine moms that are still holding on to the glory days of Dr. Phil. I would rather move on to